Good morning, all. Today we discuss about operational amplifier. As mentioned, the name, it is an amplifier that can be used to perform mathematical operations such as addition, subtraction, integration, differentiation, etc. So we called the amplifier as an operational amplifier, as it can perform mathematical operations. It can also be used for averaging and to solve differential equations, to find logarithm, to find exponent, etc. And another advantage of this type of amplifier is it can amplify DC also. One of the disadvantages of our transistor amplifier is it cannot used for amplification of DC. In operation amplifier, we can amplify DC voltage also. This is the block diagram of an operational amplifier. Sometimes we call it as op amp. So when looking at its block diagram, an op amp is composed of different different stages. Here the first stage is a differential amplifier, and as the second, more stages to improve gain, and the third is a class B push pull emitter follower amplifier. We must note that the input stage of op amp is a differential stage or a differential amplifier. Now we go to discuss the important properties of op amps. In our degree syllabus, we have to discuss some topics about this op amp. In the PG level, more topics have to be discussed. So the first stage of operational amplifier is a large topic, that is differential amplifier is a very large topic. When discussing that topic, we can obtain more properties about operational amplifier. That is summarized below. So the first property of operation amplifier is it is a multi-stage amplifier. The input stage of an op amp is a differential amplifier stage. In the differential amplifier stage, there is two inputs. That is, for an op amp, there is two input. First is inverting input and the second is non-inverting input. An op amp has high input impedance. It is very large. We can assume it as infinite. So a high input impedance at both input, at the inverting and non-inverting input. What is the importance of high input impedance? If an amplifier has high input impedance, it draws a few currents. When input impedance increases, the current drawn must decrease. So in this case, it is an infinite input impedance, then input current must be 0. And it has a low output impedance. And another property is it has a large open loop voltage gain. It has a large open loop voltage gain, typically 10 raised to 5. And the voltage gain of op amp remains constant over a wide range of frequency. The voltage gain remains constant over a wide range of frequency. And the last, it has very large common mode rejection ratio. It has very large common mode rejection ratio. By the term common mode rejection ratio, it means that it has an ability to reject common mode signals. An operational amplifier has its input stage is a differential amplifier, and we say that the differential amplifier has two input, inverting input and non-inverting input. So this differential amplifier can operate in two modes. An operational amplifier can operate in two modes. That is, it can operate in two modes. First is differential mode, and the first is differential mode, and the second is common mode. In differential mode, the gain is denoted as ADM. Gain is denoted as ADM, and common mode gain is denoted as ACM. By the terms common mode, it means that we connect both input, the inverting and non-inverting input, to the same signal. In differential mode, we connect one of the input to the signal and the other input is grounded. So the common mode rejection ratio can be defined as the ratio of differential mode gain to the common mode gain. The differential mode gain will be very large and common mode gain will be very small. So the CMRR must be very large quantity. So usually we represent CMRR in dB. So For an ideal operational amplifier, the common mode gain must be 0. So the CMRR must be infinite, or the differential mode gain must be infinite and the CMRR must be infinite for the ideal case. Next we go to the symbol. It is the schematic symbol of an operational amplifier. It has 5 terminals. We can only say that it has 5 important terminals. There must be other terminals. It is these 5 are important in the common operations. For this quantity to operating of this one, we have to familiar these 5 terminals. So looking at the figure, it has 2 terminals for supply. That is here, here it is a negative supply voltage and here a positive supply voltage. That is, out of the 5 terminals, 2 terminals is for supply voltage, that is a negative voltage and a positive voltage. It must be very careful when we give a supply to the operational amplifier. Here there is mentioned 2 terminals for supply voltage, that is negative V and positive V, and there must be ground also. Ground. Okay. In a transistor amplifier, we connect plus VCC and ground. So it is a single supply. For operational amplifier, we use dual supply. Dual supply. It means there is in the supply there will be marked plus, minus and ground. So for giving the supply to operational amplifier, we must give plus V, positive V from this positive and negative V from this negative. And the ground to be used when we giving input signal and taking output signal. And in some other purpose, ground also needed. So to basic operational amplifier, there must be two terminals for supply voltage plus V and minus V, and the supply used for this is called dual supply. And the two terminals for input. Here V1 and V2. Here in the figure it is represented as V1 and V2. These are input terminals. And look at here. Here a minus and plus is denoted. This terminal is labeled as inverting input and this is labeled as non-inverting input. And the negative symbol also representing this quantity. The signal given at the inverting input must be 180 out of phase at the output. When it is amplified, it will be 180 out of phase. So it is inverted. The input given in the plus or the non-inverting input will not be any phase difference. It will be with phase, in phase. So this plus denoting non-inverting input and the minus denotes inverting input. And the last, it has an output terminal, that is V out. It is mentioned here, the input terminals are marked plus and minus. The negative sign indicates it is inverting input and the plus sign indicates it is non-inverting. The voltages V1, V2 and V out are node voltage. It means have you heard the name node? If two or more current meeting at any point, it is called as a node. Here it is mentioned that V1, V2 and V out are node voltage. It means that the voltage are measured with respect to the ground. It simply means the V1 at the input terminal, non-inverting input, the voltage is V1, that is measured with respect to ground, and the inverting input V2. The voltage is V2. It is also measured with respect to ground. And by the differential input, it means that it is the difference of these two inputs. Difference of these two inputs. The difference between V1 and V2. It is the difference between V1 and V2. It is the difference voltage. It is denoted by Vin. So Vin is the difference between V1 and V2. In some cases, the symbol is simplified as this picture. That is, in here, the provision for the supply voltage is removed. But we have to give the supply to the operation of the operational amplifier, but it is not given in the symbol. The symbol is simplified with removing the positive and negative supply terminals. This symbol is used in circuit diagrams. In all connection diagrams, we use this symbol. In symbol, we use both input, the first input and the second input. To operate this op amp in inverting mode, we have to give supply in seconds to operate in inverting mode. Inverting terminal is 2, that is the negative, okay, negative input terminal. So we give signal here, and then we ground this terminal. Okay. And to operate as non-inverting, we give supply in signal in 1, and we grounding the second one. Okay. The operation amplifier is available to us as an integrated circuit chip. Integrated chip. In our experiments or in our lab, we use this IC, that is IC 741. It is very important in our case. So the IC 741 is used as op amp IC. We use only this IC in our practical purposes. Op amp 741 IC. That IC is an 8 pin. It comes with 8 8 pin package. It has 8 pins, and in the pins 4 and 7, the pins 4 and 7 used for supply voltages, and 6 is used for output, and 2 and 3 2 and 3 are used for inputs. This is the 5 important terminals we mentioned. The other pins have other purposes. The output voltage from an op amp, that depends the following factors. First is the voltage gain of the op amp, and second is the polarity relationship between V1 and V2. That is a polarity relationship between the two input terminals. Okay, and the values of supply voltages plus V and minus V. We will discuss this dependence one by one. First is the voltage gain of the op amp. The maximum possible voltage gain from a given op amp is called as open loop voltage gain. Open loop voltage gain, and it is represented as AOL. We mention this quantity in the first slides. That is, the open loop gain of an op amp is about 10 raised to 5. Okay, an open loop gain of op amp is generally greater than 10 raised to 5. By open loop, it means the output of the op amp is not fed back into the input. Usually, the op amps operates in feedback mode. What do you mean by feedback? Is it familiar to you? By feedback, it means some fraction of output is fed back into the input. So, when an op amp is not operating in feedback mode, that is, none of the fraction of output is fed back to the input, then that gain is called open loop voltage gain. It is represented by AOL, and its value must be greater than 10,000. The op amps are always operated in negative feedback. A part of output signal is fed back in phase opposition to the input, negative feedback. So the input and output must be out of phase. So negative feedback. So the gain must be reduced, isn't it? In the negative feedback, the gain must be reduced when compared with without feedback. When an op amp operating in feedback mode, such a voltage gain is called as closed loop gain. Consider the figure. Here, the feedback is given through a resistance, that is RF, feedback resistor. The output is fed back into the input. Okay, here we connect the input at V2. So the input and output must have a phase difference of 180. So it is negative feedback, that is an RF resistor is connected from output to the input. Such a gain is called closed loop voltage gain. Closed loop voltage gain. If there is no feedback path, it is called as open loop gain. And next we discuss the polarity relationship between V1 and V2. How it determine the polarity of outputs. We know that the difference input VIN, we know that the difference input VIN is equal to V1 minus V2. This, the value of VIN, the input differential input voltage determine the polarity. The differential input voltage determine the polarity of the output, or the V1 minus V2 determine the polarity of the output. When the result of this equation is positive, the op amp output voltage will be positive, and when the result of this equation is negative, the op amp output will be negative. Okay, that means when V1 is greater than V2, when V1 greater than V2, the output must be positive. When V1 less than V2, the output will be negative. We can calculate some difference. Look at the figure. Look at the figure. Here V1 is plus 4 and V2 is plus 2. So in this case, V in must be equal to what? V in must be equal to plus 4 minus plus 2. It must be equal to plus 2 volt. So the output must be V out positive, isn't it? Or we can say that when V1 is greater than V2, the V out is positive. Consider another situation. Here V1 is 0 and V2 is plus 2. So here V1 is less than. Okay, V1 is less than V2. So we can say that V out, it must be negative, or we can calculate V in is equal to what? V in is equal to V1 minus V2. It is equal to minus 2 voltage. 0 minus plus 2, that is minus 2 voltage. So the output must be negative. Okay. By we saying the output is positive, output is negative, what do you mean it? In the first case, the output is in phase. Okay. Output is in phase with the V in. Output is in phase with V in, and in this case V out is negative, means V out will be out of phase with V in. The next case, here V in is equal to minus 1 minus minus 3, or that is equal to plus 2. So V out positive, isn't it? Or we can say that V1 is greater than V2. Here it is minus 1, here it is minus 3. Minus 1 is greater than minus 3, isn't it? So V out is positive. And the last, here V1 is minus 3 and V2 is 0. So here V1 is less than V2, then V out negative. V out negative. Here V in is equal to minus 3 volt. Okay. So the difference between inverting input and non-inverting input determine the polarity of the output. Okay. Next, the supply voltage. The supply voltage given to the op amp also affect the output of the amplifier. The supply voltage for an op amp normally equal in magnitude and opposite in sign. That we say that plus or minus V. We give a minus V input and plus V input. We give equal and opposite polarities. If we give plus 15 volt and the other terminal we give minus 15. If we give plus 12 volt, the other terminal it must be minus 12. And if it is plus 18 in one terminal, in the other minus 18 volt. In the case of transistor amplifier, we have seen that the maximum voltage obtained from such an amplifier cannot exceed the supply voltage VCC, isn't it? The output voltage obtained from a transistor amplifier cannot exceed the supply voltage VCC. So, in the case of op amp also, it cannot exceed the supply voltage. But here, in the case of op amp, it cannot exceed a limiting voltage, or we called a saturation voltage. Every op amp circuit will have a saturation voltage which depends on the supply voltage. So the supply voltage determines the limits of output voltage of the op amp. These limits are known as saturation voltage. To obtain saturation voltage, there must be saturation voltage for positive polarity and for negative polarity. Both must be equal in magnitude. It can be obtained as plus V saturation must be equal to plus V supply minus 2 volt. And the negative V saturation must be equal to minus V supply plus 2 volt. If we give a supply that is equal to plus or minus 15 volt to an op amp, we give plus or minus 15 volt supply to a op amp. So plus V saturation must be equal to plus 15 volt minus 2 volt, that is equal to plus 13 volt, and minus V saturation is equal to minus 15 volt plus 2 volt, that is minus 13 volt. Okay. If we use a supply that is equal to plus or minus 12 volt plus V saturation must be equal to 10 volt and minus V saturation must be equal to, it is here plus 10 volt and here it is minus 10 volt. Is it okay? So the output of op amp depends on three quantities. First is the voltage gain, and the second is the value of input and output, or the difference input, and the third is supply voltage. Now we stop here. We will discuss more about operational amplifier in the next session. Okay, thank you.